You sound amazing. This album is so tasteful, and it just has this overarching feeling of just warmth, and it's rich, and every sound is just beautiful, and your performance is better than ever. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm honored you feel that way. I appreciate you, love.
Oh, it's amazing. Congrats. So, age, sex, location. That's a throwback right there. We were just talking about that.
Yep, exactly. Like, it's everything. It's everything.
I think Sarah wanted to know what your username was back then when it was just ASL World.
I know it had something to do with, like, sexy and chocolate. I don't remember it, though. Like, I'm so pissed I don't remember what it was, but I stayed in those chat rooms, like, stayed in them looking for somebody, like.
I think it's where a community of individuals, and particularly young people, went searching for identity and opinion, right? Because back then when the internet was on, how do you break in? How do you be heard? And those chat rooms are a place where it was like the first time, it was the opening of that kind of era. And it clearly did make a real impression on you, because it's a beautiful album title, but it's so specific to that time.
Oh yeah, it was such an escape, like, in the best way I feel like I could socialize with people, or one of the most exciting ways I could just become someone else and, like, fantasize about whoever is behind that username, even though I feel like we were all lying. I feel like, like, who knows who I was communicating with, which is really kind of scary.
Back then, the internet was just like, it'll be fine. And then it's like, it's not fine.
Not fine. I was a little baby. Like, I should not have been on there.
Now you're in a situation as an artist where you're getting to refer to that, and how, I wonder how that title influences the body of work. How it sort of flows through. Is there a connection to those three words and the way that the album feels as a whole?
I would just say that it's simply about my dating experience and the ups and downs, and really it's just this transitional space right before, like, an eat, pray, love journey, I'll say. But it's a very bittersweet transitional space, I'll say. But I'm learning a lot about myself, and it's everything, though.
That is the place where I think when you mature and you become old enough to have relationships that mean something, and then when you lose them, it means something, that you go through that work. And this is like, that's what I hear in this album is it's not you said it's bittersweet, which I love, because it is equal parts. It's like there's the bitterness of growth and needing to, and the sweetness of what's around the corner. It's not one way or the other.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I would have to agree for sure. Yeah.
So where did it start? I want to ask you just a few basic kind of timeline facts on how this, were you just always working? Did you set time aside and say, I'm in project mode now? How did you approach it?
I think honestly, right before the pandemic hit, I was just hanging out in the studio with the lead, and we were just making music. I think Queen Space was one of the first records we made in 2020. And then since 2020, I've just been working really hard with different people in Atlanta and California, DC, It wasn't so specific, like we're in album mode. It was just, we're always very free. And then we see in the end what we're going to keep.
Yeah, out of 90 songs. Everyone on the internet wants to know where those other 78 songs are right now.
They're going to come out one day, some of them. Some of them will never should ever come out.
You know the one we want to hear.
Which is the one you want to hear?
Hotep. We want to hear Hotep. That's.
Hotep. I actually leaked Hotep. I did. I leaked it. I played it on IG Live once.
I want to know about Everything Bagel. What's up with Everything Bagel?
It's one of them records that probably should never see the light of day. It's really sweet and cute, but no one needs to know those secrets.
And then what I think I saw the most conversation about was DC. Like people really want to know.
Okay, there's a few songs that I have where I feel like I'm being way too nice to men, and it's like I don't want to be so like soft and like nice and like hyping guys up anymore. Like I'm exhausted. Like I don't want to do it.
Yeah, us, Ari, us.
But yes, but no. Like I do love men. I'm just tired of freaking Sucking them off.
Yeah, man.
But I love y'all. I'm sorry.
So Queen Space is at the end, and you mentioned that was one of the first songs. There's some sort of timeline things there for me. One of the first songs you did, it's at the end of the album. We got it last week as kind of like a moment to get us even more excited about this record. It's you and Summer. Once again, there's that chemistry that the two of you have.
Oh, wow. It's literally just me sticking up for myself, like expressing what I need from someone. If that person is gonna enter something so sacred to me, like my queen space, like you have to be respectful. We have to effectively communicate. Yeah, we have to strive for solution based, not shutting down and immaturity and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of like me sticking up for myself, and I sent it to Summer. She killed it. Cole also helped me write some of the verse and helped me with basically this pre-chorus before the chorus, and literally elevated it so much, like he always does. Like he's such an angel, and so is Summer. She elevated the record in a way like I couldn't even imagine. Like, love her.
You know what's amazing about you and Summer is that whenever you come together, it's like there's a really strong like the friendship is what emerges more than even just the chemistry, the creative chemistry. What do you love about her as a human being? Before we even hear her music, you know her better than anyone. What do we know? What do you love about her?
She's so sweet. I feel like she's always pouring into the people around her. Like she's very nice and like just nice and giving and just sweet, and she's thoughtful. Like, she's gonna invite you to like just simply have dinner. Like she's a very humble, chill ass woman. Like she will invite you and just let's talk. Like there were so many times where she just invited me to have dinner, like just sweet friendship stuff that honestly is very rare to me. Like when it comes to like I want more of that. I love that from Summer. Yeah, I don't feel like my friends take me out like that. Like well, Eve and Dreamville, they look out for me a lot, but like specifically, yeah, Summer has taken me out a few times. Like she's so lovely.
Most friendships nowadays, I find at least, exist in a place of convenience. And that's not a bad thing. It's like picking up the phone, making a FaceTime call. It all matters. Connection's important, but you're right. Like old school, like 80s. Like, do you want to go out for a meal? Like it's an 80s move.
Yes, I have chills. I didn't even realize how special that is to me until I'm talking about it right now. Like, oh my God.
Speaking of the 80s, Nick, you made a good point before where whenever we listen to your music as a team or individually, it's like you have this amazing ability to conjure inspiration from sort of the four amazing decades and the key artists. Like I hear Minnie Riperton. You've spoken about that. I'm a huge Minnie Riperton fan. We've talked about Anita Baker.
Anita, for sure. Yeah, we talked about Erica, obviously,
yeah.
Jill. And I feel like, especially like on Waste My Time, there's like a little bit of that like early 2000s pop R&B bounce on there too, that you can kind of tap into.
Missy Elliott all day, like inspired. There's definitely a lot of just Missy vibes. And Teacher Moses, like I just love soul and R&B so much. I literally listen to it so much, like it's everything to me. So it's gonna always ooze out like naturally with my melodies, with my writing style.
You're adding to this legacy, through your songs and your performances. I want to talk a little bit about how do you get that performance out of yourself? What are some of the constants or consistencies in the way that you like to record your vocals to make sure that you feel comfortable to get the best performance?
I mean, I like it to be as raw as possible. I don't care for auto-tune. Yes, in the end, like sometimes like we'll tune things, but like I don't like to record with auto-tune. Like I like to feel the record in every way. The beat is always going to be something that like leads me, inspires me to, create a melody or freestyle, whatever.
Speaking of which, one of the most playful songs on there is Boy Bye with you and Lucky Daye. I mean, it's like you almost go into character mode a little bit, which is really fun. How was that?
That is literally me. Like And that's literally him. Like, we're both very, like, you know, we're gonna talk our type people. And so, like, it was very natural, like, to us. And oh, it was so much fun. Lucky is everything. It's just so pleasant to work with him, so easy to work with him. He's so sweet.
This is an important album for the Dreamville team, no question about it. I
Oh,
mean, no, it really is. I mean, it's what Cole and Ebe have created and nurtured with artists. It feels like it's artist invested. It doesn't feel like it's a label with artists. It's like everyone's the label, and it feels like you all move and work together like that as well. And it must be really. You talked about just having Cole on call, you know, to be able to say, hey, look, I need a little bit of inspiration. I need someone to give me a different altitude here and what I'm working on. Can you just elaborate a little bit on that experience of what it's like being with Dreamville and it not feeling like it's just a check in a bank, you know?
it's literally a dream. I feel like I would have gotten dropped. I would have gotten like any other label. Like, I have a very anxious attachment style. Dreamville is just a very calm, stable, and secure like energy environment, and they're just beautiful and they validate me. They're so sweet and they're so helpful. It feels like a dream. It feels like dessert, like all the time. Like how much they love on me, how much they love on everybody. Like, so sweet, so thoughtful. They're always thinking of everyone, always.
The message that you sent to Cole when he asked you about like the title significance and the album significance, and I think that message that you were able to send back to him kind of speaks to that. You know, that gives clarity to what, you know, how comfortable you feel there.
Oh my God, so comfortable. We literally talk about everything, you know? And he's so real. He's gonna let me know, like, yo, he's just so helpful, so damn helpful. And he's going to let me know, like, if he feels like, maybe a way about like a decision that like I'm thinking about. Like, he really helps me.
He has great instincts and he leads by example too. I
He
mean,
really
you
does.
want to if you're going to join a team of creatives that has a single creative that's built this, that started this thing, you want to look at how that person runs their life. And you look at Cole and Cole goes, well, family is here, you know, and then other artists and artistry and craft and community and the culture is here. And then how I make all that fit together in my sort of micro world is fine, but all that other stuff is the reason. And that's where you want to be. You want to be there.
That's good energy. That's a healthy man and a very, very great example. Like, literally how he takes care of himself. Like, and then the people that he surrounds us with, like the therapy resources that he literally helps so many people in the team, all the people around him constantly just helping people, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, like a really, really good person. Like, I strive to be as healed as I feel Cole is. Like, he's a good man.
I love that. Ari, you're the best. This album is so start to finish flawlessly tasteful.
Thank you.